It was a great series.
Yeah.
Like I said, any game can be fantastic.
First you lose your hair, then you lose your mind. That's how this works.
One brain cell per follicle, and I've lost many follicles. But yeah, EGVP definitely two teams that have shown, like, really pushed each other to the limit. Very different styles being shown in this particular draft. EG going for the heavy team fight. I mean, there are a lot of Sumail options talked about. We at first were looking at the AA ourselves, felt like it might be a little bit weak in the mid lane as Solo finds himself on pretty far out in enemy territory, but a decent fissure might get him back to safety. In fact, could put Zai in harm's way. Now VP coming in, early skirmish, but no kills secured. So they'll back out. He did get a deep ward down, and he's dropped one behind the tower here in mid.
Yeah, that ward, I thought he was just going to stay in those trees by that ward to go for the courier snipe. Not the case. We'll see Universe take some damage, get himself a bounty rune. Nicely played there. But yeah, not going for the courier snipe. I guess he wanted to group up with his team, perhaps take a fight and try and get a first blood. But the end result is this courier will go out unsniped as VP. I kind of like their draft to correct the question. I think it's easier to execute. IO is very, very strong right now, and there's a good reason why most teams are banning this hero out. This mid lane is going to be the key lane to watch, and the CM, recognizing how kind of vulnerable this Razor is actually dual laning mid, something you wouldn't normally expect from a CM.
And not going to make life too easy for Lil and no one early on, but at the same time, CM has to be careful not to give up her own life. Very frail, does have the early point in Frostbite, especially if that's on cooldown though. Fuzzy Wuzzy can certainly run you down. So it's 2v2 in the mid lane for now, with Zai dropping his own deep ward over towards Pasha's side of the map. That puts a Shaker Solo up against a Veno. Not a very fun lane for the Earthshaker. And in the off lane, the Universe Void facing off against a Juggernaut Dazzle duo. Not really the biggest kill potential there either. So these side lanes, I feel like they're likely to be quiet unless we see support rotations. Speaking of which, Zai, early pressure here on Pasha, but not enough for a kill just yet.
Yeah, I like what EG have done with their lanes. This Veno versus Shaker matchup is very favorable for EG. Ortiz can 1v1. He almost might get a solo kill here. He is diving with the slow and the poison sting. Pasha has to fissure under the tower, and he's
Big
just
dive
dead.
from Ortiz, and it pays off. Pasha down. Good start for him. And in good news for VP, at least CSing quite well here on the cores early, but EG definitely going to be happy with that move.
Yeah, I mean, this bottom lane, the Veno wins the 1v1, then they've got the side pull to work with, so it's very tough for the Shaker to play this lane. Top lane Universe is kind of bullying this Dazzle, gets some early bashes, and Pasha with no regen, no stat items, he's used his last Tango Clarity, is very limited in what he can do to zone a hero like Void with Stout Shield, 3 Tangos and a Salve left. This Void has a big advantage up top.
And Sumail CSing nicely now. The Crystal Maiden back to the jungle. His crit looks to get his level 2, fuel the aggression for the team. So things really looking solid around the board in the early moments of this laning stage. Universe is taking some harass here from Solo, who has grabbed that early point poison touch, but not afraid of getting killed, still getting his experience.
Nothing too bad. He's got the time walk if he needs it.
Again, Pasha being pressured here. Are we going to see any sort of rotation? Io, meanwhile, going for a courier snipe mid, so Pasha's not getting the help he needs. Almost finished.
Level
off.
2 Gale should be enough here.
Ticking down, and nope. Salving up. Has to waste this, or blow the salve, I should say, to keep himself alive. But will, in the end, the successful retreat. Meanwhile, in mid, they are diving with that double damage rune picked up on Lil. He hits pretty hard. He's also very squishy, though. Has to be careful not to take these tower shots. The plasma field will net Sumail a kill, and now goes with the static link, looking to turn things around to no one. Chasing the bear. The bear is fast, though, with the early Windlace boots, so he'll make it out.
Well, EG getting a slight kill advantage, but you can see in the CS how the lane matchups were favorable for them to begin with. It was always going to be a tough mid lane. The Razor kind of holding his own, at least fairly, more or less even on CS there, but the Jug farming incredibly well up top. While Veno's gotten kills, he hasn't been able to CS all too well. There's been a lot of disruptive presence and influence over the lane from the Earthshaker, and Ortiz isn't quite.
And they're going in again on this mid lane, diving Sumail under the tower. Looks like they should get the kill too. Frostbite, no one way too tanky with the early point and overcharge. Lil gets him out, and by the way, Lil did end up getting the courier snipe as well. So
nice, that's a big kill.
It's just a real coup here in the laning stage for VP. EG need to answer back. They find the opening bottom. We'll get the kill on Pasha, who's not getting any love from his team. No rotations. They are not too interested in supporting his lane at this stage.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of this Shaker. It seems like one of the top off-lane picks, but I think what Pasha just hasn't had practice against is this safe lane Veno. It really is like an NA pick, so to speak, something Arteezy plays a lot, but I don't think he's probably seen any of the CIS teams really playing in the safe lane. It's not a hero you probably get much practice against, and Arteezy has punished him twice now. And that is a bit of a concern for VP. If you're trading your life and like forcing out regen and getting some CS and levels out of it, it's great, but he hasn't actually gotten much out of this lane in the process of dying.
I mean, you do have to credit Zai. Zai has had, and I think probably for me, his most impressive tournament yet under this new EG roster. Just almost every move in the laning stage is a 4 position, whether it's the Night Stalker or the Sand King. We've seen on a variety of different heroes. Has led to kills, has led to good wards, set up for pushes, and he has been all over Pasha, roaming in on that bottom lane and giving Arteezy that early edge. Still, though, VP overall in the lead here for net worth, so doing pretty well in the numbers department, even if the Shaker is struggling as they make a move on Sumail mid, but he stays very far back.
Yeah, that Courier Snipe makes such a big difference, like denying those early items. Not sure if there was like a boots or anything on it for the Razor, but it's 800 gold for your team. It's just such a big gold influence for your entire roster, and we're seeing Jug dominate up top so well. Void, I think, was traditionally picked a lot against this Jug matchup. Being able to get away from the Blade Fury is always really nice with the Time Walk. We are just seeing Ramsey say, well, I can't kill you, but I'm going to deny every single creep possible.
Yeah, he's got the big CS advantage. With the phase boots, it gets hard to last hit in the mid lane. Skirmish breaking out as they move on to No One. Zai has rotated again. Will it lead to another kill? No One says, screw it, man, I'm going in. And he goes deep for Sumail. He'll find him too. Pays on the way out, but worth it so far. This follow-up Burrow Strike, countered somewhat by the heal bomb of Solo. Nice tether back to safety. Lil makes it out. So a 1-for-1, a Razor for an Ursa in the mid lane. Though it was the Ursa who got that bit of extra experience.
Yeah, gets the kill first, so he'll be quite all right with that. And feels like Sumail is typically the more explosive player, with Arteezy playing like these Veno bristle type heroes that just are very consistent, kind of disgusting heroes as he calls them. So if there's a player you want to shut down, it would be normally Sumail.
Looking for the kill on Solo. Can they find it? EG charge up the hill. The Sandstorm secures it. Zai again getting involved as the Sand King. 1-0-3. He's been on 4 of the 5 kills of the team, all the while keeping his levels up, and certainly is benefiting from that Crystal Maiden aura for all these rotations.
Even Universe swung in to help make sure things went all right for that one, but has left this top lane completely free. And with Jug level 6, this top lane, it's a very dangerous place to go. You may be able to time walk away from a Blade Fury, but you could phase after you get an Omni Slash off, so it's a place where you have to be very careful farming against a Jug.
Overall thoughts on the laning stage, gods? It's been pretty back and forth. Are you favoring the trades for either team? Is this more or less what you expected?
More or less what I expected. We'll see Arteezy take these early towers. He did this in the last Veno game we saw, although they actually lost that one against T-Mod's Anti-Mage. This time around, it's on an Anti-Mage that's going to split push you and counter your lamp into Jug. So I feel like all these early towers are going to be much more beneficial for EG. They're not going to be playing scared. There's no Nyx assassin they're up against.
Top lane, diving this Faceless Void. With the Phase Boot, sometimes you can force out the Time Walk and run him down, get the Omni while it's on cooldown, but the window is small.
Yeah. So, I mean, for EG, this is, I think, overall very good. They're getting a lot of map control, this bottom lane being pushed out. No hero can really go to Veno's lane all too easily. These level 4 Plague Wards are just there. They're a plague to deal with, and perhaps no one can go down there. He's the Ursa, but I don't think it's going to be easy. Arteezy's always keeping one of those wards scouting out to the west, so you're unlikely to catch him by surprise.
He's very close to a blink. No One at 1,800 gold nearly after this creep. So once he gets the blink, you got to figure he will be up in EG's face. Teleport Scrolls will be EG's #1 friend as Universe closes in on his 6. Obviously, Sand King, even before he gets any big items, can allow for the disengage versus the Ursa. So we'll see just how much VP look to ramp the aggression up. Don't poke the bear.
Yeah, this blink timing is scary to deal with. Io's level 6 is going to come kind of closely with it as well. See how Void is going up top. He's not level 6 just yet. Universe is very close to it. And then perhaps we'll see some moves come out from him. Not the best damage to dump in the Chronosphere with their draft. There's no like free easy kills like your Invokers, your Skywrath type heroes, but it could still set up like even just Sand King getting in range to use a Burrow Strike and the CM follow up with a Frostbite, likely enough to kill most heroes on the map outside of like maybe the Jug. Ursa could be tricky as well with the Enrage.
They have good damage, but it's like big team fight ults, and if you blow 3 or 4 of those just to get a single kill, which you might have to for an enraged Ursa with the tether, then VP can just look to counterplay that and immediately take several fights in succession. They are trying to punish Arteezy here in the bottom lane. TPs are coming in, and the trap will be sprung momentarily. Unloads, commits the Poison Nova, but tanks an Omni Slash. Pretty tanky. Trapped in the trees, not going to bother with the TP out. Will end up going down. However, Solo might be the sacrificial lamb. The healing ward keeping him alive for now. Going to drop low to this. Has to throw out the Shadow Wave to ensure his own survival. But healing ward, perhaps the Venomancer counter, as it will help keep him in fighting shape for the time being. I also do want to point out Zai is getting towards a Blink Dagger pretty nicely here for a 4-position Sand King, only about 1,000 gold short or so.
Yeah, I think more so than the Chronosphere, it is his Blink Dagger that is EG's first real timing. Like the Chrono being up is a nice response to a tower dive, so Universe will be kind of eyeing off those, but I don't think he's going to be looking to smoke up, make any aggressive moves. That's more the Sand King who can enable that, and Zai probably wants his Blink first. So for now, it is VP who have the greater capability to start making aggressive plays. This Ursa Blink is a very nice tool to use. There was a nice gank from Ramses at bottom. TP1 to the tower, TP1 to the shrine, and there was no escape for Arteezy.
Zai from the trees, the epicenter cometh, and it's directly onto Pasha. Beautifully done. Zai continuing to deliver. I mean, for me, you know, Sumail has obviously been the flashiest player for EG, and they've been running this crazy variety of heroes for mid, but Zai has been the rock. Delivers again, and that gets him closer to his Blink. It also makes the struggles continue for 9 Pasha gods. He has just had an awful time in the offlane thus far.
Oh yeah, he's got an energy booster queued up. If he goes for the Arcane Boots, then it's going to be a long, long time before his Blink comes online. So we'll see if he even maybe forgoes purchasing that just to try and rush a Blink Dagger. They don't rely on the Blink as much on Shaker since they have got Ursa's Blink. They may just use Shaker for the long-range fissure to back up the Ursa when he initiates. But yeah, definitely a big liability coming out of VP's early game. And it's going to be down to the Jug and the Ursa to try and help Pasha catch up.
There's a dire scan here bottom. The way is clear. VP know they can commit to this tower. They'll grab it too. Got to be careful about jumping 3 heroes on top of a big objective, given that EG have that huge team fight to potentially turn the tides. But so far for EG, they've taken down the tower top, and this is exactly what we saw the other day, as you mentioned. Just move Arteezy around from lane to lane, and I think as Purge put it, just teams really, the team they played did not try to stop them at all, at least not for the early offensive. Whether VP will do something a bit differently remains to be seen.
It's quite tricky, even with the Blink Dagger initiation. This top lane's even safer to push than bottom because there's no Shrine to TP to flank him. There is the Shrine further down, but it's a lot further away from the lane, which means he's fairly safe and secure in pushing this. He's also taking over the dire jungle, so even if he doesn't take the tower and Jug comes up to defend as we see, he's still getting good farm up here.
Arteezy is just occupying enemy territory. In fact, being circled on the map. Ramses, I believe, knows he's somewhere nearby, and Solo is going to try to get eyes on him. That would mean 4 heroes could descend, as they are smoked, looking for the opening. This relocate play cannot be underestimated, and Arteezy is about to be called out, going for the TP, and, well, see you later, VP. Not a whole lot to deal with that without the Shaker in the neighborhood. There's a bit of a lag spike. Lil did relocate in, but he does not have the level 25 talent. No way.
I want to say, yeah, he probably left the Ursa behind on purpose. I don't think that was a lag or anything. They weren't going to get the kill once the TP started. And even if he relocated earlier, that TP likely succeeds before Ursa can do enough damage.
Pasha wants to go for a solo kill here in Universe, perhaps? But Zai is actually lurking.
I think this is going to go bad for Pasha.
Oh, Echo. Hey, I gotcha. Fissure. And now backup comes in. No one does arrive, but a good 2-hero burrow, but Zai buys him time. He already has a Blink. He jumps away to safety. Not much of a trap when EG are so elusive.
Yeah, that relocate top really cost them there. That's where you would love to have your IO able to swoop on in. He's the one who's got the dust and who can provide just some additional chase and also the scouting from the spirits, but not to be for VP.
Haven't seen that big team fight for EG, but they're getting all the tools to make it effective, gods. The Veil is coming soon for Arteezy. Zai's got his Blink. Universe closing in on the Vlad, so
farming well.
Something that will help him. And Sumail goes for this early drum. So EG's items are all very much focused on the like 15 to 20 minute mark, and they're about to get the vast assortment. Sumail commits on the solo here. The Plague Work's going to help out, going for the long range. Gale won't connect, so solo slinks back to safety. But out of the picture now, this might prompt an EG offensive on the side again. Guess what? It's a beautiful burrow strike and a beautiful play from a beautiful boy. He'll find that kill, makes it out as well. VP just getting outmaneuvered by EG.
Yeah, you mentioned Zai in the early game with his rotations. They continue.
Universe now the chrono, and he manages to find the IO, so the disengage won't be possible. Relocate on cooldown anyway, and then Zai comes roaring back in. EG collect 3, and now finally can turn their attention to this tier 1 mid.
EG making all the right moves. Zai's Sand King has been incredibly active, involved in 7 of the 9 kills, and also just like pushing his hero to the limit where he'll find himself near some dangerous situations, the Earthshaker, the Ursa, and just use this Sandstorm Blink plays to actually juke a lot of scenarios. He's gone for a very interesting build, maxing out the Sandstorm, not getting a single point in Caustic Finale. This does a lot of damage early on, and the invis delay is kind of nice as well when you're actually trying to just like juke and jive as we've seen. So very, very interesting way to play this hero.
How concerned are VP right now? Obviously, they've lost the last few fights. They haven't really been taking too many big objectives. They're finally going to go for the Roche, knowing the ults are down.
Yeah, I'd say they're in quite a bit of trouble. Their heroes like Ursa don't want to be playing from behind, and you look at this kind of tri-call lineup of EG, Void, Venom, Razor, all scale pretty well to the late game. EG, they scout out Roche, they know what's going on, and with an Invis rune, I don't know if they're ready for this. Did they see Sumail go Invis? They've got Dust, but they may not expect this.
Zai's chilling in the pit as well, looking to make it a true party, and now as no one retreats, EG will chase him back, the Roche down, below half HP. They don't have that quick Roche burst. They could chip at it with the Plague Wards, and well, Arteezy, he'll begin that slow process perhaps. Still not ready to take the fight, but time being bought here by EG is honestly a win for them, because that means the Chronosphere is cooling down, the Epicenter's coming back soon, even the Poison Nova, the Crystal Maiden all about to be ready. EG will have their full complement of ultimates, and they might just force the Roche at that point.
God, it's so hard to move around the map with these Plague Wards. Anywhere you go where Arteezy's in the neighborhood, you'll just find like a chain spree of them, and it's so inefficient to bring them down. They give you a little bit of gold, but they're not really worth wasting time trying to kill them all, and you kill 1 or 2, another couple pop off. It's like a Hydra. Chop 1 head off, a couple more are there, and well,
and yeah, it's Roche they're thinking about now as Arteezy does grab the medallion.
He's got wards protecting around the pit. They can very easily set up for this one in due time. Perhaps wait, the Village is actually ready for Universe, just needs some courier time, and they've got all the big ultis now ready to go if they want to take VP on at the pit or around the pit.
Just haven't seen VP spread the map very well. You know, they haven't been able to use the relocate to find pickoffs. Aside from that one gank on Arteezy bottom, pretty much every fight has at best been a trade for them, and often dragged into these larger scale engagements where EG just reigns supreme with mass AoE. Is there a move they can make to spread the map more effectively?
I mean, for VP, they're trying to just combat the team fight AoE with sustain.
Oh,
like
this could be the opening, guys. They just smoked under a ward.
Can they use this? Are they going? It looks like they are going to just try going to the pit with this smoke, and VP may sniff this one out.
Can you even fight there? Like, look how good their team fight is.
I don't think you can, LD.
And your damage is an Ursa and a Jug, who are almost guaranteed to get hit by the Chrono, if not the full complement of spells. So
the VP scan is actually on the cliff, so not really perhaps expecting a Roche as well.
It's not like the best Roche lineup, but EG just got a medallion and they just got a Vlad's. I don't know if VP saw either of those items. Either way, they won't be getting the Roche. A huge part of picking the Ursa now foiled for them.
Blocking Ursa's Aegis, and on top of that, Ursa being not particularly ahead in terms of kills, in terms of farm. That's a big worry for VP right now.
And when you're up against this massive team fight, it's somewhat the same logic for why you pick a Wraith King, right? Versus 5 AoE teamfight ults. You want to have that second life for after they're down, but the second life is EG's to claim.
It can also be very tricky to play these drafts where Shaker is the only initiator. There's a lot of pressure on him. This is typically a hero that can shine when you're counter-initiating. Like, you have one of your teammates go in, you wait for the fight to kind of clutter up, and then you get that big blink echo off. If Shaker has to start every gank, very difficult to play for VP, because he's gonna be the first to go down, and then you've lost all your stuns. We saw at top, they find Arteezy, they had no stuns when they brought in 3-4 heroes because Shaker was bottom farming. He's the only lockdown this team has.
EG ramp up the systematic pressure now as Arteezy and Sumail, Venomancer and Razor get to work on the creep wave. This tower under siege, looking to take down their 4th tower of the game. VP not showing signs of contest for them. It's only been the one bottom they've laid claim to. So EG now with a substantial map control edge. The Aegis on top of it, pushing the advantage. They'll take that tower. Arteezy the one to lay claim to the last hit. And now he says, I'll push further. I'm going to go straight to the tier 3. Wait for VP to mount a response. And all the while, there's some backup in the neighborhood. A completed Solar Crest now online. I mean, talk about a value item this game versus Juggernaut and Ursa. This is a great pickup here.
The armor evasion in this game is going to be very problematic. Sumail's got an SMY, could theoretically later even turn this into a halberd if he wants an item that could really ruin Ursa's day, but even without, he may just prioritize some building push, get like an Ags or something. EG are just getting all the items in their core. Heroes Universe is already transitioning into some catch and pick off himself with a Shadow Blade queued up. They're very farmed on 4 heroes because it's also a Sand King with 6k net worth, Blink Dagger, and almost a completed 4-staff for Mr. Zai.
And Mr. Zai is having himself a pretty good start to this game. EG, I think the one weakness perhaps we look at this lineup, they're not very good at breaking high ground. It's like Veno ward spam is okay, but on its own it'll take quite some time. So
yep.
they're still looking for that team fight to really crack open the VP defense.
Yeah.
Let's give VP a bit of time here. Diffusal Blade compete on the Jug, Basher up on the Ursa.
Wonder if they consider like an Ags on Sumail to try and make up for that problem after this SMY. It is something we've seen from time to time on Razor.
Fada also was fond of the Assault Cuirass build at times.
Yeah, you get a lot of... This is a great game to get armor items. The Shivers, AC type builds could be very good. And then you say, well, I don't have the Ags to hit buildings, but I'm also not going to die, so I'll just kind of brute force my way through these buildings.
And they look to do just that now. Second to last outer tower under siege. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, VP do get to work on this Radiant Tier 1, still standing at 21 minutes into the game.
Don't have the best high ground lineup, but if no one's defending high ground, you sure as hell can go there. And VP...
Anybody home?
Going for the split push. Yeah.
Knock, knock. Knock, knock.
EG's at your door, VP.
Just uncontested on the high ground. They have managed to bring this tower down to half. They do have the siege creep, but now no one finally going to make his move. Force Staff gets Arteezy back to safety, and no one has to disengage. The tower beginning to drop now. Sumail still holding that Aegis. Still up on the high ground, confident he can take this down, and does get denied, but for EG, it's really just the objective they care about. So basically a full 5-man push. They got like an entire wave's worth of damage in all 5 heroes hitting the tower, and that is enough for any lineup to break through. So it'll be the tower they stop with for now, gods. But VP, it's a bit of a concern for them. Like you mentioned, they don't really want to start the fight with the Shaker. So then Ursa jumps in, and VPG just force-staff that one hero away.
Yeah, it feels like almost an understatement, a bit of a concern. I think they're in so much trouble right now. They've got to win a fight, and they're getting scouted out.
And Zai is ready for this move outside of the base. Meanwhile, Universe is caught too with the Chrono. Decent escape for now with the relocate, but meanwhile, Pasha and No One still in trouble. Universe getting to work up. Pasha doesn't get that bash he needs. No One mans up, does commit everything. Overpower and Rage, not enough. He will drop. And now Solo 2 in danger to the Burrow Strike. One more auto attack should get the job done. Zai maybe going to pay with his life. Indeed he will. Ramsey strikes back, but that's 3 down. And EG come marching back in, looking for the first melee racks. Ranger X also at half HP. Plague Ward focusing one way, the heroes the other, and they are likely to get both, barring this buyback. Ramsey's on the retreat, but Sumail lashing him. Lightning overwhelming him. The fissure is there, a good block. No One trying to pursue, but the damage Sumail has is way too much. He can't withstand firepower of this magnitude. Almost 400 a thwack. The Razor brings him down. EG closing in on those racks. Pasha trying to hold the line, but eats the plasma field. It doesn't taste too good. Down he goes. The boys in blue continue their rampage here at Epicenter, as they will take a full lane of racks and now pole position versus VP.
Yeah, just some very solid Aegis use from EG, taking that fight, not afraid of VP running at them. I think VP could see that kind of sense of desperation. They know they used the vision advantage. They could see all 5 EG heroes. They were hitting the Shrine. The Shrine may not provide the vision, but the attacking it did, and they decided, we're so far behind, we've got to make a risky call, but EG played the fight perfectly. They split up their 2 big ultis. Sand King goes on the Jug. Void, rather than stacking the Chrono in the same area, goes for the other side where the Shaker is. If Shaker gets disabled and dealt with in these fights, VP do not have the damage, do not have the lockdown to guarantee the outcome they're hoping for. So very well executed from EG.
I mean, to be honest, you look at the two drafts as like a clear difference in style. EG, big 5-man lineup, very strong when they group up and push, when they try to force objectives. VP, spread the map lineup, pick-off lineup, snowball lineup, and the snowball has just not been rolling at all. And then when it started rolling, it was just all in EG's favor.
Yeah, and when you're versing the team fight lineup and you feel desperate enough to like run at them as 5, that's when you know you're in a lot of trouble.
They find another here. Ramsey's trapped down in the jungle. Echo Slam comes through. It's not the best connection. It does hit Sumail, but Arteezy also way too tanky for this, and they engage directly on top. Oh, the chrono by Yudo. He's found 3. Instant GG out. It was already over, but Universe ends